Graphing functions using Casio fx-83GTX ClassWiz calculator. Example 1. Draw the graph of the function f of x equals x squared minus 2x minus 3 in the domain x value is greater or equal to minus 2 but less than or equal to 4, where x is an element of the real number set. So here's our table. So our x values are going from minus 2 to 4. So minus 2 to 4, you can see there in yellow. I've drawn out the function. I've replaced the x's for brackets, and then I have input the x values. So we input minus 2 into the brackets, minus 2 to be squared, minus 2 times minus 2, minus 3, and that will give us our y value. So if you're to do this manually using substitution, it would take you quite a long time. So there's a much quicker method using the calculator. So here's our calculator. We start off by pressing menu, and this will show up. So it's on calculate. We want to press the right arrow to get it over to the third option, which is the table. And then we press equals. And then this will show up on the screen. So we have f of x equals, and we need to input our function, which is x squared minus 2x minus 3. So to get the x, we're going to press alpha, and you'll see a little a show up. And then we're going to press the bracket button because the alpha is colored in a kind of pinky red color. And above the bracket, we can see the x is in a kind of pinky red color as well. So it will put an x on the screen for us, not a bracket. So there's our x, but we want x squared. So we're going to press the x squared button, and a little 2 should go above the x. Next we have minus 2x. So we press minus and 2. And then to get the x again, we have to press alpha. You see the little a show up, and the bracket button again, and there's our x. And then we have minus 3. So we press minus and 3. So there's our function inputted. We next press equals at the bottom right. So you'll see g of x comes up. That's where you can input another function, but we don't want to do that. So we just press equals again to skip that. And then you will see this. So it'll say table range. So the default is to start at 1, end at 5, and go in steps of 1. So we want to start at minus 2 and end at 4. So we're going to press minus 2, and it will show up there after start. But then we press equals, and it will jump down to the end. So we want it to end at 4. So we press 4, and you'll see it show up there. Then we press equals. We can keep the steps as 1. In some questions, you might need to change this to 0.5. So just look carefully at the question and what's given. But for now, we just want steps of 1. We press equals, and there's our table. So the 1, 2, 3, 4 just means couple 1, couple 2, couple 3, couple 4, or coordinate 1, coordinate 2, coordinate 3, coordinate 4. So underneath the x is your x values. So you've got minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1. And if I scroll down now in a minute, you'll see the rest of them. And then we see the corresponding y values. So 5, 0, minus 3, and minus 4. So 5, 0, minus 3, and minus 4. So we can see minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1 for our x values, and then 5, 0, 3, minus 4 for our corresponding y values. So then I'm going to press the down arrow to scroll down and see the rest of them. And then we can see we've got 2, 3, and 4 as our x values. So 2, 3, and 4. And then we have minus 3, 0, and 5. So we're going to put them in here. Minus 3, 0, and 5. So then we have our couples. So we have minus 2, comma 5, which is there. Minus 1, comma 0 is there. 0 minus 3 is there. 1 minus 4 is there. 2 minus 3 is there, 3, 0 is there, and 4, 5 is there. So we've got our couples. Now we're going to plot them on our graph. So minus 2 comma 5 is there, minus 1 comma 0 is there, 0 minus 3 is there, 1 minus 4 is there, 2 minus 3 is there, 3, 0 is there, and finally 4, 5 is up there. And then we join them together and we make sure that we form a curve. So you want to make sure that the bottom of your curve is not pointed. It's not a V shape, it should be a U shape because we have an x squared graph. So that should form a U-shaped curve.